Okay, welcome everyone. This is Amon Kidwai. I'm here with Niels Giffey, formerly of the Yukon Huskies. He was kind enough to take some time to answer a few questions. He just got back from a few workouts, spent some time last week in Europe, and like I said, was very kind to agree to speak with us today. Thanks a lot, Niles.
No problem. You're welcome.
Great. After playing for 4 years at UConn, you completed your student athlete experience by earning your degree in May. How did it feel to get your degree and also to be graduating with two of your teammates?
It was a lot of fun. Besides the basketball experience we have at UConn, the academic stuff that's going on is pretty much just as important. So it was amazing to finish on time with all the extra stuff that you have going on with basketball, and it's funny that only three of us ended up actually finishing up our senior years of I think 7 guys coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very special to finish with those guys.
Nice. And what was your major?
Economic geography.
Good job. What was your best non-basketball experience at UConn?
Best non-basketball experience. That's tough to say because basketball was my everyday life at UConn. Probably I really like when we went to I think it was the Baylor game when the girls played Baylor at Hartford.
Oh yeah.
At the Excel Center. It was a lot of fun there, just going there and being a regular student. Another good experience for me was probably going to one of the football games. I'm a sports guy. Like, I love to go to the other sports. I was good friends with all the soccer guys. Really good friends with Mamadou.
Oh, cool.
So just seeing all these other sports teams succeed, that was always a lot of fun hanging out before the football games, and just enjoying yourselves.
Very nice, very nice. And so I imagine, what have you been up to kind of since graduating? A lot of workouts and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I moved up to Indianapolis where I'm working out right now. It's kind of the place where I'm staying right now over the summer. It's my home base right now,
Mm-hmm.
and where I stay in shape. I think I had 6 NBA workouts so far. It's been a good experience right now. Just connecting with people, getting to know what's kind of going on behind the scenes, and then just showing yourself, showing what you got. In front of the NBA scouts and coaches and GMs.
Cool. How do you feel about your performance so far? How are the workouts going?
I was pretty confident about my showings. Had some good feedback. They obviously they don't show their cards too much, and but I feel confidence about my performance so far. Put in a lot of time and effort in this, so I hope it's all going to work out in the end.
Yeah, we do too. Is there a team in particular that you've met with that feels like a really good fit, or maybe that is on top of your list for any sort of reason?
Not right now. I mean, one of the special moments really during this whole process was when I met Phil Jackson. During the Knicks workout, he pretty much ran the whole workout. So
Oh wow,
that was kind of special. Yeah, just understanding how he runs his triangle offense, and getting to know him as a person, seeing his personality, that was pretty special.
yeah, he's a basketball legend. That must have been amazing.
He's a basketball mind. Like, you could definitely tell where all his success is coming from.
Very cool. So you mentioned that you're in Indianapolis. Your work, that's kind of your home base. That's where you're working out right now. Are there any parts of your game that you're working on in particular while you're here in Indianapolis?
I had time to just focus on basketball, so no schoolwork on the side, so you can really focus on getting your body in top shape. Putting a little more muscle on my frame, and getting adjusted to the NBA 3-point line, because at the end of the day, that's going to be my ticket.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to have a shot at the NBA, my 3-point shot has to be on target. But also improving, ball handling wise, it's always been, not always been one of my strengths. So I definitely need to add that to my game.
So what does an NBA team get when they draft Niels Giffey, or when they add Niels Giffey to their roster?
Definitely what you call 3-and-D. So 3-point shooter, defensive player on the court, but off the court, just a good guy, motivated team guy, who's there for their teammates, who's there for team success, and as far as I told everyone, I'm going to give them all. I'm trying to take care of my chances. So.
Nice. So how has working with somebody as well respected as Kevin Ollie, how has that shaped your ability to prepare for playing basketball at the next level?
It's actually really interesting, because I see a lot of things that he always focused on, and that he implemented in our game, that show up in the workouts now, and that people talk about, and that people that the big coaches really emphasize. So even from him, or from going from Coach Calhoun to him, it was a little different, because he brought that NBA aspect to our team, and to my game too.
Cool. So, in the business world, having an alumni network is always really helpful. If somebody went to UConn, maybe they're willing to talk to me or something like that. Have you been able to network or speak with any of the former UConn players in the NBA?
I mean, Coach Ollie is probably the biggest,
yeah.
the biggest card that you can give to anybody in that business. So I worked out for the Sixers, and all they talked about is Coach Ollie.
Oh wow!
So that was amazing, and obviously that kind of opens some doors for you.
Mm-hmm.
And also I was up in Toronto. They had good things to say about Rudy and his days up there. So it was always good to have that UConn background, and you actually realize what it means to be a UConn guy. When you step out into this business world, and people actually, see that UConn sign on your chest, and it means something.
Definitely. Great. I'm going to switch gears a little bit here. UConn was banned from the 2013 NCAA tournament, as I'm sure you know. Did you consider leaving when that decision was levied? And I guess ultimately, what did drive you to stay with UConn?
I didn't really consider it, to be honest. I looked at other chances I had, at other options that were offered to me, but that was only pretty much back in Europe. I would have never went with a different school, but that just didn't make sense to me. But in a way, everything worked out.
Yeah.
Everything worked out really well, and maybe it was a gift for us, just having that team that was together for 2 more years, and we could really get to know our new roles in that team without pressure. Coach Ollie, it was his first year as a head coach, so not having that pressure there of reaching goals in a tournament or reaching anything else might have been a good thing.
Mm-hmm. So in that, speaking of the 2014 championship, the UConn team stood kind of in stark contrast to the Kentucky team that you played, which was loaded with freshmen, whereas the UConn team was filled with experienced players. I guess could you talk about kind of what having a more experienced team brings to the table, and maybe your philosophy on how these freshman gunslingers are impacting the game?
That's a tough one, because I think the game was decided by defense and free throws. especially that final game. And I think that was the one thing where you could really tell that we were, a little more relaxed in the game, a little more. We had a little different swagger about ourselves, and we're a little more convinced that we could win this game if we just stayed solid. They were struggling at the free throw line, and I think they almost missed half their shots there. Mm-hmm. So I think the game was really won there, and that's just one aspect of the game that shows you that, it's good to have that type of experience going into those situations. And Kentucky is always stacked with talent. We might have not been that talented, but we found a way to win that game, man. If you get the chance to go one and done, I mean, probably all of us would have done that. Mm-hmm. We're not in the same position as these Kentucky guys, so
yeah.
We were fortunate enough to win that game that way.
Yeah, definitely. Wondering, have you heard about this idea going around in college basketball about moving to a 30-second shot clock?
No, I haven't heard it.
So there's the ACC is experimenting with that in the preseason. Wondering what your thoughts would be if they implemented something like that and how it might affect the game.
Let's go to a 24-second shot clock. I mean, you play that way in Europe. You play that way in the NBA. So why change it to a 30-second shot clock? You can get everybody, used to that 24-second shot clock. Different shots will go up, and I think you will have, even a faster-paced game. Mm-hmm. Because there will be less situations where you pick and choose your spots and then pull out again. And actually, we played a lot, and we ended up with a high pick and roll. Those type of situations won't happen that much because you will have to take a shot out of the system and out of some type of motion.
Very cool. So imagine this the World Cup, obviously a huge event, happens once every 4 years. Seems like it's happening at a pretty bad time for you with how busy you are. Have you had a chance to watch?
Yeah, I watched the Spain-Netherlands game. One of my buddies is actually from the Netherlands, so
oh wow!
I had to call him up right away. He was a little too excited, but I'm definitely waiting for next Monday. I think Germany is playing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wish I would have loved to be back in Germany right now because that's always one of the most exciting events because everybody's on the streets and everybody's watching the games somewhere outside.
Yeah.
Like restaurants, they bring up those huge projectors on the streets and you just watch it outside. Like it's unreal. It's unreal.
Were you in Germany in 2006?
Yeah, I actually was. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. But I will find, a nice sports bar around here when they play the U.S. And,
Definitely. So I do have to ask, what made you decide to grow the beard?
That's a good question. I don't know. Probably the first time that I actually could grow it out. I mean, it's an ugly beard. It got a lot of patches. So over the summer, I just had no one around, and nobody who actually cared about the beard looking ugly. So I just grew it out, tried it, and had success with it.
You sure did.
So I definitely kept it, and it got uglier and uglier over the tournament. I was happy to shave it. Trust me.
Nice. How long do you plan on keeping it?
Probably gonna keep it for a while.
Very good. All right, Niles. Last question here, and thank you so much for your time today. UConn is losing a lot this year with you leaving, Shabazz graduating, Olander, Lasan Chroma is gone, DeAndre Daniels left early. So we are losing a lot of players. There's a lot of new blood coming in too. Rodney Purvis is now eligible to play. Daniel Hamilton, people are expecting a lot of. What do you think about UConn's chances next year to repeat?
They have to stay focused. They can't be satisfied with what they've done last year, but they have to move on. I'm telling you, Rodney's going to have a great season. Like, I believe in him a lot. He's an amazing guy. He's an amazing player, and I think Bolt is going to step up big time too.
Mm-hmm.
Just as as a leader of the team, as a leader of the pack. I think he was one of the keys really to our tournament run when he understood that he needed to buckle down on defense and just lock people up. And we don't have to be a top 10 team to win a championship, and we don't have to play amazing offensive basketball. It has to be on defense, and I hope everybody understands that next year. So I'm positive they will have a great season next year.
Cool. Quick follow-up question I have to ask. We're all very excited about Purvis as well. Is there an NBA player that you might compare his game to?
NBA player. I don't know. Sometimes maybe Dwayne Wade, but they're a little different.
I've had some talks with friends where we say Dwayne Wade as well. Hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully he plays a little better defense though. Dwayne Wade playing horrible defense this year.
Is there somebody in the finals who you've been rooting for?
I mean, I gotta stay with the European guys. I gotta stay with the Spurs. They just play amazing basketball. I'll be so happy for Ray if he wins this. To be honest, I don't even know. I'm like in between there. But I love the basketball that the Spurs play. I mean, that's pretty look at.
Yeah, I would love it if maybe you end up on the Spurs. It's possible.
If they need a shooter.
Absolutely. All right, great. Well, we'll cut it here. Niles, thank you so much for the time today. Best of luck with all the rest of your workouts, and hope to see you playing in the NBA next year.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it.